What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of In the Trenches here on the Post-Gazette Sports Now podcast channel and YouTube channel. I am Noah Hiles, and joining me as always are Jake Kradel and Gavin Bartholomew. And this week, our special guest, Pitt running back, a guy who's been filling in the captain spot, C'Bo Flemister, on the show. Fellas, happy to have you all on. Obviously, not an ideal outcome last weekend in Wake Forest, which we're going to talk about. But first, Jake, Gavin, I'll let you have a second to welcome our guest to the show real quick.
Yeah, no, it's great to have C'Bo. It's been a guy that's been kind of carrying the workload on offense and, getting some carries and just kind of being a captain for us, a guy that's stepped up into a role to lead this team and lead this offense, and it's great to have a guy come in, transfer in, and really fit in with this program and the values and the four pillars, we carry ourselves on. Just a guy that, I sit beside the team meeting room every day, and, it's really blessed to have a guy like this on the show.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, keeps the offense in order, in line. He keeps us working every day and always brings a good mentality to practice every day.
All right, so we're going to get into a recap of last week's loss to Wake Forest, but before we do, we need to talk about some of our presenting sponsors. I'll take this first one. It is the Great Yinzer Tailgate. It's bringing its Best of the Bird to South Point on November 4th, showcasing Pittsburgh's rich culture, iconic sports history, and vibrant community spirit. Great Yinzer Tailgate will immerse you in a unique blend of traditions that make Pittsburgh legendary. Visit www.thegreatyinzertailgate.com for more details. We'll see Yins there. So, guys, lost to Wake Forest. I thought that was probably the best the offense looked this season, aside from the lack of scoring, obviously. But I want to just talk about, how you guys felt Christian looked. I thought he was really good on third down, just how things felt. And we'll just go around in a circle here. We'll start with C'Bo. C'Bo, what did you like from the offense in that loss? We'll get to the negative stuff later. We'll start with the positive. What did you like from Saturday's offensive display?
I think one of the things that stood out to me were the explosives. I think we had more explosives last game than we've had all season. Also, like you said, Christian looked really good. I think he brings a certain intensity to the game, a certain, swagger, and he kind of took over a little bit. And I think he really had one of his best outings. That being said, we didn't come away with the win, but I think we're only going up from here. I think he's going to add to that this week. And that being said, too, our receivers, I think they got going. Bub got going. Kanate got going a little later. But, yeah, I think we meshed pretty well as a receiving group, as a team, as an offense last game.
And Jake, to add on to what he's going to say, I mean, obviously your first trip back onto the field in a while. Good to see you back out there. But what'd you see from yourself out there? How nice was it to be out there? And then what did you like from the offense as a whole?
It was great to be back out there. I mean, it's, sitting there for, 3 weeks and just watching, us go out there and play and not be able to really, be out there with my brothers kind of hurt. But, getting out there and getting my legs under me and, really playing, getting the groove of things was just great to be back there. I mean, like you said, we had some success, but we, ultimately you want to win the game. And that's where I think that's where you look in the mirror, like, what more can I do? Like, what can I do to, make sure we execute on third down, third and short. But yeah, like you said, kind of about Christian. I mean, Christian had a heck of a day. I mean, over 300 yards, he ran the ball efficiently when he was doing the, read options and stuff. But I mean, it was just great to see him, like you said, play with that swagger on third down. I mean, that's something I felt like we were missing. We never really, the previous 6 games, we never really converted on third down. So, I mean, having him out there making big plays was huge for our success.
And Gavin, I mean, can you talk a little bit more about the passing? Something that's kind of been a struggle, but a 300-yard day through the air for your quarterback, a receiver eclipsed the century mark. I mean, it felt like the passing attack was really going.
Yeah, I mean, going into the game, we knew we wanted to throw the ball, and that's what Christian's comfortable with, and I felt like he put that on display. And as the game kind of went on, I mean, the first drive was great. I mean, we marched right down. But, we found ourselves not moving the ball a little bit. And then, he starts airing it out a little bit and getting comfortable. And, I mean, that's the type of offense we are. And, that's what we can do when we're moving the ball efficiently. And then we open up the run game for C'Bo and Rodney and stuff like that. But, I mean, I mean, we had no turnovers, which is nice besides the turnover on downs. And I mean, the O-line did a great job protecting the quarterback, 0 sacks. So shout out to them. But yeah.
So when we look at the box score here, 300 yards passing, 400 plus yards of total offense. C'Bo rushed for over 100. Bub caught for over 100. How in the world did you guys only score 17 points? I mean, it's kind of hard to explain. When you look at all those numbers, you would think that that's a 30-point outing. You know, what do you think went wrong that prevented you guys from not being able to kind of finish drives? We'll start with Gavin and then work our way around.
I mean, really what it comes down to all year is execution. I mean, I feel like we catch ourselves so often, like we're one person away from doing their job to breaking, like a long touchdown or, something that should easily be done. But, it just takes one guy to mess up their job or not do it right. And then, it just seems like that kind of keeps repeating. And I feel like once we get all 11 on track, I think everything's going to start clicking.
Yeah, to piggyback off that, I think the biggest stat that's not on there is I think in short yardage, like in 3rd and 1 or 3rd and 3. I mean, I think we were 0 for 6. And that's where as linemen we have to make our hay. We have to find a way to get that yard. We have to execute those blocks to let C'Bo and Rodney hit the hole and get a yard or two. And that's where I think it doesn't show up in the stat column. That's where we messed up front. I think we had 9 negative plays, rush plays with no sacks. I mean, having no sacks is great, but when you have 9 negative rushes, that falls on our shoulders up front. That's where we're missing one block here, one block there, and that really stops a drive. That kills a drive. When you start in our offense, you can't be on the sticks. I mean, you want to stay ahead of the sticks. You stay in, 2nd and 7, 2nd and 6 to give yourself a chance. But that's where I think it went wrong. But other than that, I mean, like you said, 3rd down. When we were 3rd and long, we were making plays, but 3rd and short's where we have to really make our hay.
C'Bo, anything to add?
Yeah, I think a lot of it does go to what they said, especially execution. Like we said, you look back at the film and you see there's one person here or just something that happened, even pre-snap penalties that keep us from having success we could have had. And then you look at the stats. You look at the 300-yard passer, the 100-yard rusher, 100-yard receiver, but that doesn't even tell the whole story. When we look back at film and we're kicking ourselves because it could have been a 150-yard rusher, it could have been a 400-yard passer, but that's just being extremely critical. But that's also just being real. We like pre-snap penalties. I think we were coming out one time and we get a false start and now we're backed up. Like. Staying on schedule is everything with the offense. For offense to click, for offense to just flow well and have that chemistry, you have to stay on schedule. So when you're getting those things like that, pre-stop penalties or missing this block and having a negative play on the 1st down, it really does hinder you and hinder your success. And we have to thank the defense for a lot of reason why our stats look so well, because they gave us the ball back a lot. So we had a lot of opportunities. We just didn't we didn't finish drives as well as we should have.
All right. So, guys, this year there's been a lot of weeks that will be remembered for a couple of short phrases. We had Boo City, we had the Blue Vase game, but just recently, this game will be remembered for the slide. And personally, I think it's kind of ironic that it came against an opponent where a slide was pretty famous in Pitt's favor a couple years ago. I know that's not going to get any smiles out of you guys. But can we just talk about, the reaction to that slide, what it's like in a locker room after you're on probably the wrong end of a close call and how you guys kind of, digest what happened on the field there?
Yeah, no, it's devastating knowing you're that close to a win. You're a yard away from a win. It's not Christian's fault at all. It's like I said, it should never come down to one play. It should never come down to that game. Should never came down to the 4th quarter. We should have, really put the stake in the 3rd quarter and ran away with it, to be honest. But yeah, it sucks that we're on the opposite end of that, where Kenny had the fake slide in the championship game that kind of sealed the deal for that, and then it comes full circle around, and Christian just starts to slide a yard too soon. Where on the field it looks like he was past the line of scrimmage, but once I guess you start freezing and stuff, you start seeing he slow down, and I guess that's the rule. I mean, like I guess Coach Dew said something in his press conference this week that they should revisit, and I definitely agree with that. I mean, that's one of those things where you're closing out the game. The guy's trying to stay in bounds. Like, it should be where his knee goes down, truthfully. You know what I mean? Like, but if he, starts getting himself up but doesn't go down, then that's where it should be the rule should be imposed, like, all right, he's down. But, I mean, everyone knows the situation, and honestly, he did what he was coached to do. You know what I mean? And that's what I think we teach in the 4-minute drill, like, hey, stay in bounds. Like, let's get the first down and slide, So, I mean, can't blame him, but, I mean, we just got to move past that and, have a great week this week.
And to build off of, like, that rule and how it's enforced, I was just thinking about it. Rather than putting a referee in a spot where they have to kind of make a judgment call as to when a slide starts, why not just penalize the ball carrier if they try to do a fake slide again? Like, if you want to outlaw the fake slide, and if someone does it, penalize them. That way you're not putting defensive players at risk of trying to tackle a guy too late or too early who's trying to slide, and you're not putting refs in this spot. I just felt like that was kind of the sport overthinking itself, and that was a product of that. So,
definitely. No, that's a great idea.
So we'll wrap up this portion of the show. I'm sure we don't want to talk. No one on the screen wants to talk about a slide or a Wake Forest loss anymore. We'll move on to the interview portion of the show. Before we do, Jake, who's this interview brought to us by?
In the Huddle is brought to you by the one place in Pittsburgh where you can caffeinate and create. Brushes and Beans Cafe in Murraysville. At Brushes and Beans Cafe, you can enjoy a delicious latte, cappuccino, cold brew, and much more while relaxing and creating your very own masterpiece. For more information, visit their website at www.brushesandbeanscafe.com or give them a call at 724-610-3782.
All right, it is time for the interview portion of the show. We'll move C'Bo to the big screen. C'Bo's on the hot seat. He's getting the hard-hitting questions asked to him by his teammates. I'll let you guys take it away.
C'Bo, how you feel going back South Bend where you started your college career and had success there in your 4 years there?
It's definitely a full circle moment for me. I never thought I'd be on the other side, being at a visitor's locker room. But, I mean, here I am now. But as far as how I feel, man, it's exciting to be able to go back and be in front of that crowd again. I've gotten a lot of, messages from alumni and, a lot of old teammates and former teammates just about the game. And I mean, like I said, it's exciting. It definitely gives you that extra, I wouldn't say extra motivation because of course I prepare for every game the exact same, but it definitely is in the back of my mind that I definitely want to have a good game and perform well in front of everyone. But it's going to be great to see everyone again. It's going to be great to be back on campus and back into that stadium and in that atmosphere. So like I said, I'm looking forward to it, and I can't wait.
That's awesome.
100%. So coming from Notre Dame, how did you end up at Pitt? Like, what was your recruiting process like? How dudes reach out? How'd all that go?
So that whole because I was I was still at Notre Dame finishing up my degree for the last spring until I came here. I actually didn't put my name into the portal until the very last day. And some schools came and I kind of let it die down because it all came at once. It was a lot going on. And after that, I got a few schools that, I thought I was going to take serious. This time around, it's not like high school. I'm not all about the glitz and glams. It was at this point a business decision for me. And so, I had been in contact with a couple other schools that I was, taking seriously, taking visits. But, the first person to really reach out to me was Coach Powell. And talking to him was good. We had that connection, just him being from the South. I could hear it in his voice before I ever even met him. So I knew where he was from. And I think just having that connection definitely helped me out a little bit. And just knowing his history and some of the backs that he's coached. And then like when I got here on campus, like I really didn't hang out with anyone. I didn't really do anything to go out, but sitting. I came to watch practice, and I liked the way the practice was set up, and I liked the intensity that everyone brought. And then just going back into the room and talking with Coach Narduzzi, that's when I really started to lean more towards here. And like, I mean, he'll tell you I actually did like basically, verbally commit to another school, and then I kind of came back to Pitt, and then I kind of went back to another school again, and then I finally just said like something he said really resonated with me was like, would you rather make plays there or make plays here at Pitt? So that really resonated with me and stuck with me. But also just the fact that one of the things that I really stressed was being around like-minded players, players that I thought were performed like pros and acted like pros, because of course that's where I want to be. And not to mention the privilege of being next to the Steelers at all times. So just being able to see them and that aspect of it too, that definitely had a lot to do with my decision.
Yeah,
That's awesome. Now, so you've played. How many games have you played in two of these, I guess, rivalry series now? Because we played you as in 18, and then I think in 2020. Did you play in those two games?
Yeah, I played here 2020 during the COVID season. I actually scored a touchdown.
Ah,
I wasn't
Yeah,
here for
that
that.
I finished out the game. We had an 8-minute, 4-minute drive. The last 8 minutes of the game we held the ball, so that was pretty cool.
yeah.
I think I
Let's
came
hope
off
we.
the field and puked.
Yeah, that's something that usually doesn't get done against our defense, because we're very stingy with the run. But I definitely do remember that. That's crazy. That was 4
Actually,
years ago. Hopefully,
a funny story. Look, a funny story about that though is, the scoreboard. The scoreboard doesn't always tell the whole story.
mhm.
So, but I'll tell you this: on the plane, we get to the plane, and I just remember a lot of us were just talking about how sore we were and like how beat up we were. One thing about that Pitt defense was it was definitely one of the most physical defenses we played all year, and we really won off of explosive plays. It was really 4 explosive plays. It wasn't like we were running the ball the whole game. I think I only had maybe 45 yards, but one thing we knew about this defense was they rallied to the ball. Everyone flew to the ball, and they were coming to hit. They were coming with bad intentions every time. So you definitely got that from playing Pitt.
100%.
do.
That's kind of like, and that's what, looking back on the game. I mean, not the excuse at all, because some of the excuse that, but we didn't have Kenny, and we threw 4 picks that game. I mean, we were just handing the ball to your guys' offense. But hopefully
that
we're
the
on the
Exactly.
better
Was
side
that the
of
game
that.
Joey started?
That was, yeah.
Yeah, that was the game Joey started.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Joey Young.
Yeah.
What a guy. So then playing high school in Georgia, what was that like, playing high school ball there? Because, I mean, I'm from PA. I mean, PA ball is nothing crazy compared to Georgia.
One thing I always say about Georgia is, a lot of other places they have like private leagues and things like that where the teams are really good, but in Georgia, I mean, public ball from 1A all the way up to 7A, that those guys compete with anybody in the nation.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a lot of guys that are big time guys nowadays that come from really small schools like I did. But me personally, I played while I was in high school. I played in the regions 3A, 4A, back down to 3A, and like I said, the competition was really good. I got to play against some really good players, and some guys that are in the NFL right now. But I think you definitely get that just from my area specifically, because I'm outside of the metro Atlanta area, so it's a little bit different than that area, which produces a lot of football players. I mean, I think Gwinnett County may produce most NFL players in the nation. Correct me if I'm wrong, but just my area it's that real Friday Night Lights type of vibe. Like
Yeah.
football is the county. Football is it. Like everybody comes to the game on Fridays. Everybody really kind of, I mean, you play well on Friday, everyone knows about it. So I
Yeah.
think we really got that real small town Friday Night Lights feel. Definitely.
Yeah, that's the best.
All right. So I got one final question for C'Bo, and before we start our game. And it is as simple as C'Bo. Like, where does your name come from? I don't meet a lot of people named C'Bo. I actually think you're the only person I've ever met named C'Bo. Is there a story behind your first name?
You know what? I'm still not 100% sure where my name actually came from. I know my dad's nickname is C'Bo, and I am kind of sure the fact that someone gave him that nickname, but I'm not really sure why they gave him that nickname, since his name is Ronnie Cornelius Flemister. So there's really no C'Bo anywhere in that. So I have to check back with him and get back to you on that. But
So is that your birth
my name was supposed to be my birth name is Saborius, right? Saborius Karan Flemister. So the Ronnie part they put in my middle name is Karon, Karan. Like, my parents are young, so I don't know what they were thinking.
I mean, that's still a really cool name. I mean, either way, C'Bo and your birthday. I mean, those are both.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Yeah, a lot better than Jake.
The
Gavin,
funniest
and Noah,
thing about it though is, look though, the funniest thing about it though is C'Bo kind of embodies my school personality, because I go home, everyone who's extremely that I grew up with and all my family, they call me Bo. Like, so C'Bo is kind of what happened with football and school. That's why everyone calls me C'Bo, and no one really calls me Saborius except for my mom and my girlfriend when I'm in trouble or something.
I mean, I'll be honest. Like, I remember when I first started covering Pitt last year, I was looking down the roster. I saw your name. I was like, what? Who is this guy? I mean, it's kind of, you ever get like the Key and Peele jokes at all, that like the Senior Bowl thing?
So on Twitter, I've been tagged in like NCAA all name teams and stuff like that, but you know how that goes.
Yeah. All right. So, C'Bo, the way this goes, after the interview portion of the show, we play a game. Last week, Christian was our guest. We played Canadian trivia. So being that you're a former Notre Dame player, now at Pitt, we're going to do Pitt-Notre Dame trivia. And this goes off of, this is trivia related to some recent contest between Pitt and Notre Dame. I made a multiple choice just in case, you're not super familiar with Pitt football history.
Yeah.
So no need to write this down anymore, guys. I think we can just go around and you guys can all say your answer, A, B, or C. All right, so we'll start off here with Pitt's last trip to Notre Dame was in 2018. Jake, you were on the team. Yes, yep. And C'Bo, you would have played in that game. You would have been on Notre Dame at that point in time. So two people playing this game were a part of this game. So this Panther returned to kick 99 yards for a touchdown in that game to start the second half. Was it A, Jordan Addison, B, Maurice French, or C, Shocky Jock Louis? All right. So A, Jordan Addison, B, Maurice French, C, Shocky Jock Louis. We'll start with Gavin. Your guess, Gavin?
I know. I'm gonna say. What was B? That wasn't
Maurice,
Shocky, right? Yeah.
Shocky was C.
Yeah, I'm gonna go B.
Maurice French.
Yeah.
All right.
Because I know it's either one of.
C'Bo, your guess?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with B2. I'm not sure of the name, but I know someone was number 2.
It was definitely Frenchie.
Yeah.
All right.
It was Maurice French, 99 yards to open the second half. I remember watching that game. That was a huge return. That was
crazy.
Yeah. So we'll move on now. This question takes place in 2010. This Pitt Panther caught 9 passes for 111 yards and a touchdown in Pitt's 2010 loss at Notre Dame. Was it A, Larry Fitzgerald, B, Devin Street, or C, John Baldwin? Again, this Pitt Panther caught for 111 yards and a touchdown on 9 receptions. In Pitt's 2010 loss at Notre Dame, is it A, Larry Fitzgerald, B, Devin Street, or C, John Baldwin? We'll start with Jake this time.
It was C.
C, John Baldwin?
Yep.
All right. C'Bo, your guess?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with C.
What do you know about John Baldwin, C'Bo?
I think he had a really good game against Notre Dame in 2010.
He might have. Gavin?
I'm probably gonna say C.
It is C. It is Jonathan
Yeah.
Baldwin. Jonathan Baldwin,
second round pick.
first round pick by
First
the
round,
Kansas City
20,
Chiefs.
25, right?
Uh,
Or 27, somewhere in there.
26, 20, yeah, somewhere in there. Aliquippa star. An
Coach Asala.
absolute stud.
It's always the Aliquippa guys.
Yes.
Always.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, he was a beast. And I believe was also a top 100 basketball player in the country as well in high school.
Oh, wow.
He was the man. So, all right.
Another common theme from Aliquippa.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, Gavin disappeared. Hopefully he gets back here by the time this question's asked. All right. So this Pitt Panther quarterback started in Pitt's last road win over Notre Dame.
Ooh.
Was it A, Pat Bostic, B, Tino Sinceri, or C, Bill Stahl? Again, Gavin just disappeared. Oh,
There we go.
I think we
I'm
got
back.
it. There he is. He's back.
Yeah.
All right, Gavin. Here
My
we
bad.
go. You're good. You're good. So I'll repeat the question. This Pitt Panther quarterback was the last starting quarterback to beat Notre Dame in Notre Dame. Was it A, Pat Bostic, B, Tino Sinceri, or C, Bill Stahl? We'll start. C'Bo, you can give the first answer here. Pat Bostic, Tino Sinceri, or Bill Stahl?
I'm going to go with Pat.
All right.
I mean, I'm gonna go Pat too. I mean, I like Pat.
4 overtime win, Pat Bostic.
You are correct. It is Pat
There it
Bostic.
is.
He got the start. Bill Stahl had a concussion, and Pat Bostic got the start. 4 overtime win. LaShawn McCoy had a big hand in it, ran for like 170 yards or something. I remember watching that game at a Texas Roadhouse when I was in middle school. And that's what's kind of cool about this rivalry, though, or just a lot of these games, just looking back, like I remember where I was. Like when Pitt plays Notre Dame, because it's been, I wrote about it today, the last 6 times Pitt's played at Notre Dame, it's been a 1-score game. So like I remember like all of these were just really close, hard-fought battles. And so it's been a lot of fun to watch these matchups. All right. Question number 4. This Panther became the first quarterback to ever throw 5 touchdowns against Notre Dame. And I'm not talking in Pitt history. I'm talking in college football history. This Pitt quarterback became the first ever quarterback in the history of college football to throw for 5 touchdowns against Notre Dame. Was it A, Dan Marino, B, Kenny Pickett, or C, Tyler Palko? Again, this Pitt quarterback was the first ever college football quarterback to throw for 5 touchdowns against Notre Dame. Was it A, Dan Marino, B, Kenny Pickett, C, Tyler Palko?
Let's go, Gavin. What you got?
Gavin, you are first.
I think we watched. Wasn't he the one? Chad put up some video. I'm gonna go C.
Tyler Palko?
Yeah.
Okay. C'Bo?
I think I'm going to have to go way back with Dan.
With Dan?
I'm going to go Marino.
I will say, C'Bo, as someone who's relatively still new to the program, those first 2 names are probably a bit more familiar, than Tyler Palko.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jake?
it was Palco. He had that legendary interview after.
Yes, where he is so effing proud of that football team. He dropped an F-bomb on NBC on live television after the win. Yes,
That's awesome.
That was Pitt's first win at Notre Dame since, I believe, I want to say the 70s or 80s. So it had been a long time. And he outdueled Brady Quinn in that game. Awesome football game to watch in 2004. But yes, Tyler Palko. I highly recommend pull that on YouTube. Just look up Tyler Palko, Notre Dame press conference. He's getting interviewed on the sideline. This dude, he was like, I don't care if I throw for 3 yards. It's all about winning the game. I'm so effing proud of this team. And Pitt built off of that. They ended up going to the Fiesta Bowl that year. So big win for them. All right. Final question. This is Final Jeopardy. So real quick, Jake and Gavin both have a perfect game right now. 40 points each. Guys, how many points would you like to wager real quick, Jake and Gavin?
I'm going to wager them all.
All right. Jake's betting them all.
I'm all in.
Gavin's betting them all. C'Bo, you have
yeah.
30 points. Would you like to bet the whole bank as well?
Go big or go home.
Yep.
Right.
Yes, sir.
So, all right. This Pitt Panther kicked a game-winning field goal in 2008 in fourth overtime to help Pitt secure its last win in South Bend. So Pitt's last win in South Bend was in 2008. We talked about Pat Bostic was the starting quarterback that game. It went to 4 overtimes. This guy kicked the game-winning field goal in overtime number 4. Was it A, Andy Lee? Was it B, Connor Lee? Or was it C, Chris Blewett? Again, A, Andy Lee, B, Connor Lee, C, Chris Blewett.
C'Bo, I think you're up.
C'Bo, you can go first.
Wow. I'm going to go with Blewett. I'm going to say he did not blow it.
All right.
Gavin?
You're up, aren't you? No?
No, I know this. I ain't giving it away.
God damn. I'll go B. I have no idea.
It's Connor Lee.
It is. So you're both correct. Jake and Gavin tie
That's
with
good.
a show record 80 points.
Bro,
That's impressive.
For beginner's luck.
Yeah. C'Bo, I got to tell you, man, normally Gavin gets like one question right.
Yeah, he's not lying. Yeah.
The only time he's won is when I cheated and I told him the answers ahead of time. So, yeah, that was an impressive show. Not bad, guys. So, all right, so we're going to transition now to the third and final part of the show. Gavin, who is who's our presenting sponsor for that third and final part of our show?
This segment is sponsored by Rendine Consulting, helping companies staff integrate and optimize their technology systems. Call 412-965-5933 for your technology needs.
All right, guys. So the way this works, C'Bo, first down, we do 4 downs here. First down, we do a headline reaction. Second down, say something nice. It's where we talk about the upcoming opponent, which in this case is Notre Dame. Third down is practice player of the week, where you guys give a little shine to someone who practiced really well this week. And fourth down is key to victory, where you say a key to victory in 5 words or less for the upcoming opponent. So first down, headline reaction. This comes from the Washington Post. Michigan sign-stealing operation is a college football scandal to savor. So I'm not sure how closely you guys have been following this, but the Michigan sign-stealing thing is the top story in the world of college football, if not the entire world of sports right now. This guy, Connor Scallions, whatever his name is quite the character. So I'll give you the spark notes on how this all worked. This guy was a part of their staff. He had been going to games of their upcoming opponents, which is illegal. You cannot attend in-person games for teams ahead of your schedule. And he would sit there and videotape their signs right by their bench. And there's photos of this guy standing on the sideline next to the offensive coordinator, the defensive coordinator, with printed sheets out of the hand signs, basically telling the coaches calling the plays, hey, they're in cover 4 right now. They're going to be in cover 4. Or I know there's those hand signals like it's going to be a zone run or something like that to better prepare them. And then today in Sports Illustrated, his master plan was revealed where this guy had the grand scheme that he planned in 15 years of being Michigan's head football coach. And there's a lot more to it than this. He had a 550-page manifesto and a Google Doc that was like his grand scheme plan on what he was going to do when he took over the program. It's a great read. I highly recommend Googling it and reading it. It's hilarious. But I want to get your 3 thoughts on this whole fiasco as guys who play college football and have probably I don't know. I'm sure someone has tried to steal your signs before. So what are your guys' thoughts on this?
Yeah, no, that's very interesting. I didn't realize it was illegal to go to the games before you played your opponent, but I guess in that case that is messed up and wrong. But truly, I think like people steal signs all the time. I think that's a common theme in college football. It's like, hey, if they're going to give it to you and you can just look over there, why not take it? So I guess like in that case, like I understand that that's fine, but the recording of the sideline, that's probably where he probably took it too far and really, I guess took advantage of the system. But I'll tell you, in 21 when we won the title game, we didn't have signs, like we didn't have anything. Like Coach Whip literally walked probably, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 feet on the field if he could, as far as he could go, and met Kenny and just gave him the play. And Kenny would run back to the line and tell us, or run in the huddle and tell us to play. So we didn't have any signs to be stolen. So, I mean, it's crazy to see the polar opposites of, both sides. Like when we didn't signal to when now people are stealing signals to, I guess, help benefit their case. But it's a whole crazy story. I'm excited to see what comes out of it and see if there's any, punishment for him or the program. But I definitely got to read that 500-page manifesto he put together because that seems pretty interesting.
Yeah, I mean, like Jake said, I feel like it's pretty common in football now. I feel like, use it to your advantage. But as far as like going to like games in advance and like recording, that's a little extreme. And as you said, it's illegal. But yeah, they do it all the time. I've had instances where, I'll be lined up for a play and, the defense is calling out what I'm doing, and I'm like, shit. Yeah, they know. So like, it definitely happens, and I've seen it, but just yeah, use it if you can, I guess.
C'Bo, anything to add?
Yeah. I guess, yeah, I think they did take it a little too far, maybe too extreme. But hey man, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, man. But like I said, like they said, I think it is something that you see in college football is trying to get any advantage you can. As far as going to the stadiums, I'm not sure. I don't really have too many words. I guess if it's wrong, it's wrong. So I'm with them. If it's wrong, it's wrong. But when I was my time at Indy, I know we did have times where maybe a GA had gone to another school that we were playing, and there maybe was a fear that they got some of our signals or something like that. So we had everything from 2 dummy signalers to boards with dummy numbers and anything you can to kind of combat that. That being said, again, I don't agree with if it's illegal, it's illegal. So I guess abide by the rules, have some integrity for the game. But like I said, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, man.
I also think, like in a sport like football, you still got to stop it.
Exactly.
Like there's a lot of scenarios where it's like 3rd and 1 when you come out in a heavy package. It's like I have a pretty good idea that they're going to be running the ball here, and it's like the tush push, by the Eagles. It's like everyone knows that play is coming, but no one can stop it. So, or like on a passing pattern, it's like you might know those route trees or whatever, but at the end of the day, like someone's going to be open. So, and like you're going to have to make a tackle or make a play on the ball. So I don't know. I think they kind of took it a little far with this, and this guy kind of clearly sounds crazy. I also got to give a shout out to Coach Whipple because coaches like that are 100% of the reason why I saw any playing time in high school. Our coach refused to do those types of signs. We had 2 sets of receivers. We had the 1st and 3rd down receivers, and we had the 2nd and 4th down receivers. And your boy was a 2nd and 4th down receiver. My job was to stand right next to my head coach. He would grab my face mask, tell me to play. And that was the biggest contribution I made to my team, was just running in there, telling my quarterback to play, going in motion, completely away from everything else that was happening. But you got your boy a Letterman jacket, so we got the job done. So we'll move on. We'll move on now to 2nd down. Guys, say something nice about Notre Dame. We'll start with Jake and just go around the table.
Yeah, no, they're definitely a fast physical defense. They have a bunch of I guess older guys. That I played. 2020 I played these same guys. So it's gonna be a great game. Great matchup for us, and just excited really for the competition. this team's 5-2 right now, ranked high. I mean, good team. So definitely excited to see where we match up against them.
C'Bo?
Man, it's just gonna be great. Go back and compete, like Jake said, to compete against these guys. One thing I know that we're gonna see is a lot of physicality. I know they're gonna bring it, so I'm looking forward to that because I love being physical. Lining up and running into each other. I love that type of game. So I know we're gonna have a lot of that, and also I think it's gonna be a great atmosphere, and I think it's a great challenge for us as a team, and I think it's something that we will be ready for. And that being said, yeah, it's I'm looking forward to the matchup. They're a great team. They're well coached. They play sound football and they play well together. So I'm looking forward to going up against that. And yeah.
Gavin?
Yeah, like C'Bo said, I mean they're an aggressive football team defensively. Up front, they're big, they're fast, they move well. They got good tacklers in open space and in the run game and stuff like that. So it'll definitely be a fun game to watch, and I'm hoping the atmosphere is good. First time up in South Bend, so.
All right, guys. Practice player of the week, real quick. We'll go around. We'll start with Gavin. Give your practice player of the week.
I'm gonna go with Terrence Moore. Telling the O-line and the Hogs where they're going. He's doing a great job with his IDs and calls, getting everyone where they got to go. So I'll go with Terrence.
C'Bo, your pick?
I'm gonna go with Konate. I think Konate generally has a good practice every week and every day, but I think this week we're gonna see a lot of man, so he's gonna get a lot of one-on-one opportunities, and I think he'll make him pay a little bit. So I'll give him practice player of the week.
Yeah, I like Kenny Johnson. I think Kenny Johnson's a guy that's been really stepping up big for us. He's I don't know where he's at on our depth chart, but I know he's a guy that's been seeing more and more playing time. Caught a touchdown last week, so I'm excited to see what he can do against Notre Dame and see him make some plays on open space.
All right, and to wrap up the show, keys to victory. We'll start with Jake and go around. 5 words or less. How does Pitt upset Notre Dame?
No turnovers and execute.
All right, C'Bo?
I'll go with swing hard and swing often and swing early.
That's more than 5 words, but we'll
Let's do it.
Wait, swing hard, often, swing early, hard, and often.
Swing early, hard, and often. All right, yeah, we'll take
Love
that.
it.
All
I'm
right.
gonna go with a different one. I'm gonna special teams production. I think we could attack them in special teams this week. They got some good players out there, but their effort's a little questionable. So I think we'll take advantage of that.
There we go. All right, guys, thanks for another really good show. To everyone listening or watching, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and keep tuning in to the Post-Gazette Sports Now YouTube channel and podcast network for all of your Pittsburgh sports coverage by the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Take care.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you enjoyed the video, please like it and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check out our Apple Podcast channel for more podcast content. Click below for a special deal of 99 cents for a 3-month subscription to the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette.